If you're an entrepreneur or sales professional and you're not using AI and automation, your business is already falling behind. Welcome to the Done by One podcast. My name is Danielle Damianov, where we break down how modern businesses are using AI and automation and systems to scale faster without working longer hours. On this show, I interview business owners, operators, and industry leaders who are actually implementing AI, not just talking about it. We cut through the hype and we focus on what works, what doesn't, and what you need to start doing now. Because the gap between businesses that automate and those that don't is getting wider every day. If you are ready to future-proof your business and stop doing everything manually, you are in the right place. So let's dive in. Hey everybody, it's Danielle Damianov with Done by One, and I am here today with Daniel Bell. He is a founder of Meet Me at the Net. So I am really excited for us to talk about that and talk about pickleball. But I want to explain a little bit before we get into that, a little bit about, Done by One and having him be on with our lifestyle pillar. Because what Done by One is all about is really based on, aside from us auditing businesses, implementing automation and AI, it's a full-blown CRM. But we really base this company off of the 5 pillars. So mindset, lead generation and follow-up, sales, marketing, branding, working in your business. And then the 5th pillar is lifestyle. The whole premise of setting up your day to be able to be done by one so you can go out and live your life and have fun. We're not about the hustle culture over here. And Daniel is going to talk to us today about his company, Meet Me at the Net, and all about pickleball. I really want to know the rules of the game. So this is also going to be a podcast for anybody that is interested in pickleball and might not be super athletic like myself. Uh, Not a lot of hand-eye coordination over here, and but wants to know a little bit more about pickleball. So thank you so much for being on here, Daniel. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And thank you for inviting me. It's always a fun. I've done a couple different podcasts before, and I think they're so fun. And it's such a great way to share with people different ideas and stuff. And so it's a fun time for me. But no, how should we go from here? Should
So
I
as
take
you, yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about what Meet Me at the Net is? And I think I just want to mention this is super exciting because you haven't had an official launch yet. Like you're launching right the end of this month.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you already had traction.
Absolutely. So it's funny. Meet Me at the Net. Meet Me at the Net is a pickleball events company. We do events for groups, companies, organizations, nonprofits. It depends on what they want to get out of it, what they want to get out of an event. Some people may just want to put together an event for members, clients to create a great experience for them so that they, think of the organization that they're a part of, or that they think of the person that helped them out with whatever service or product that they helped them out with. So it could be something along those lines. It could be something along the lines of they want to create an event where they can really build genuine relationships with their target audience. That could be seniors, it could be medical providers, it could be just health and wellness conscious people in general. It could be people that have, it could be families, it could be realtors, it could be I've seen so many different industries, singles for
So how
matchmaking.
do these events kind of go? So let's just say that we're going to throw an event for I'm in mortgage. I have a title agent. In fact, we've been talking about this,
Yeah.
wanting to do, especially being in Florida. There's so many communities that have pickleball, right? It's the big thing now. So we've been talking about doing like a mimosas and pickleball. I don't know if those two go together, but whatever.
They can. They definitely can.
Okay. So let's just say we're going to have real estate agents at this event. We want it to be like a networking event, but a fun event. We're going to have maybe prizes or giveaways or whatever. How does that type of thing go? Because when I think of pickleball, I think of people playing. So how can you have an event, network, meet people, mingle, and do pickleball at the same time?
Oh, oh, okay. You froze there for a second.
Oh, sorry.
You be okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
awesome.
think it's my Zoom.
All good, all good. It could be either way. It could be me as well. But so pretty much how it would look like for something like that. There's different types of events that you can do with pickleball. Some are going to be more competitive, which aren't really conducive to the social environment. And then others are going to be more social and not so much, okay, I'm trying to win and I don't care if we become friends after this or not. Right. And so when it comes down to those different style of events, that's something that my company helps with the different companies, right? So, for example, we did an event for a title company last year. We're actually planning another one in April. And so we'll get together with them and we'll say, all right, what are the three main things that make an event successful? We want to have attendees, right? In the right audience. We want to make sure we have a good venue, right? So location wise, it's, nice venue. It's not, all dirty or just messed up or whatever. It's not too spread out where you're yelling at someone across the room or it's not too loud, all that sort of stuff, right? You want to do indoor, you want to do outdoor, what are the costs, what are the amenities, all that sort of stuff. And then you want to consider cost, which relates to sponsors, right? So we help people with those three aspects that really make an event successful. And then when it comes down to creating a style of event that adds in that networking, we're looking at things like clinics. So that's going to be like your beginner lesson. And we're also looking at socials, which is going to be like a round robin style of event where people are able to swap around with partners, they're able to connect with other people. And the unique thing about pickleball and really most physical activities, but I would say pickleball in particular, is one, it's healthy for you. Racket sports are one of the sports that make people live the longest. There's a bunch of research behind that. I don't have it with me right now, but by all means, go look it up. Um, Two, it's very community driven. The style of the sport is very social. So when you're playing at those round robin socials are going to be more like beginner intermediate level. That's the type of people they tend to attract as far as pickleball players go. And so it's going to be people that they're there to have a good time, right? They're there to have a fun time. And if you're swapping partners, get to exchange names, shake hands, play with that person, swap with another one, exchange names, shake hands, that whole thing. And so you're able to connect with people just from a having fun perspective. And then afterwards, you can say, hey, you know what? I like Danielle. You're a cool person. And by the way, you can also help me with XYZ. So the relationship comes first and then comes, whatever business opportunity. And that, what I found has, even for my own personal business, has led to the best connections and generally the best results. And that's also what I've seen from the title companies, mortgage companies that I've done these events for already.
Yeah. So how long does a round robin game last? Like if you're doing a round robin and people are like swapping out partners and stuff like that, I'm thinking these games are like 30 minutes or so. So how long do they last?
So everything is adjustable, right? So depending on the level of the game, it can go 30 minutes. I think 30 minutes is a bit long. I would say a pretty high level game, you're talking like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
But for a simple, round robin social, a lot of the times you can drop the number of points that you need to win in order to make it shorter, increase the amount of rotations. But a typical pickleball game, assuming you go to the full number of points, which is 11, you go by win by two, which is the typical, if you do, so you got to win two, that sort of thing. Typically is going to run you about 15 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes.
I like it. Keep it short. So let's talk about let's talk about the game, okay? Because I have pickleball in my community. And of course, just like everybody else that gets started, you go out, you buy a racket, you get down there. And it was, I mean, if anyone was watching it, it probably would have been very funny. But I'm serving overhand. Well, of course, the pickleball snobs in my community are like, you're serving the wrong way. So let's about what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, this is going to be pickleball for dummies. So anybody that is listening to this, you are probably rolling your eyes at me if you know anything about pickleball, but there's a lot of people like me that know nothing about pickleball. So let's talk about the serve. I want to kind of talk a little bit about the game. So that way I know when I'm going out some sort of something about, how to play. Okay. So we're doing it under.
I can tell you like a quick minute high level overview as far as rules for pickleball. We're talking a sport that's basically a combination between tennis and ping pong, right? And so that's kind of the overall feel of pickleball. When you're starting at the back line, you're getting ready to serve, it's going to have a tennis sort of feel as far as the different strokes that you do. Aside from the serve, all the serves got to go underhand. So I tell people one of the easiest ways to do it is hit it like you're hitting an underhand beach volleyball serve, right? Big backswing, nice and easy. Hit the ball right out of your hand. You don't need to swing that hard as long as you hit the ball in the middle of the paddle, right? And then the game starts from there. You win points only on your serve. So let's say you're serving, you score a point. You only score a point while you're serving. If the other team is serving, then you only win the rally and you eventually win the serve back.
Oh,
Right. And
so you're only getting a point when your team is serving. Okay.
correct.
And when you serve the ball, is it going onto the opposite side? Like it's obviously going over the net, but is it going to the opposite side, like the opposite person?
Correct. So it's always going to go diagonal, right? So the serve will always start. Let's say you're starting the game, right? And you're figuring out, okay, who serves first? Let's say it's your side, right? It's always going to start on the right square, right? So let's say it's you and your partner. You happen to be in the right square. You always start from the right square and then you serve diagonally. Let's say you score a point. Then, since you were serving, you scored a point. And then after you score the point, you'll switch with your partner. You go to their square, they'll go to your square, and then you'll again serve diagonally from the left square now to your opponent's right square. And it'll
So the
continue as it goes.
partner's not the server. I am continuing to be the server until we.
Correct. You could kind of think of it as like a king of the hill approach as far as who's serving, right? As long as you make it, you keep it, and you just keep going, right? If you make a mistake, then it kind of goes. When you think of tennis, you have two faults, right? When you're playing singles. Think of that, but the two faults are split between you and your partner, right? If you make a mistake, that's one fault, goes to your partner. They make a mistake, that's another fault, goes to the opposing team.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So the points go up to 11.
Correct.
Okay. And what else do we need to know about the points?
And so there's a couple other, I would say there's really one main other funny rule when it comes down to the points, and it has to do with serving, right? So when you're first starting the game, right? It's the first serve of the game. Let's say you and your partner, you're about to serve it, you hit it into the net, or you make a mistake and you lose that particular rally. Instead of having that kind of two faults that I mentioned and then it goes to your partner, it immediately goes to the other team.
Mm,
Right. So for the very first serve of the game, you only get one serve. After that, it goes back to normal with one fault for you, one fault for your partner, and then switching around, that sort of thing. But for the very first serve of the game, you only get one serve. And so if you were to call that out for the scoring, right, at the very first serve, you'd say, we have 0 points. So you'd say your points first. You'd say your opponent's points, which would be zero. So 0-0 on two, right? And what that means is that you're on your second fault because, again, for the first serve of the game, you only get one chance.
mm.
After that, it goes normal. And so let's say you make a mistake, goes to the opponent's team. When they would say the score, they would say their score 0, your score 0, and then they would say on 1 because now it's back to normal. If they make a mistake, goes to the partner, then they'd say 0-0-2. They make a mistake, goes back to you. You'd say 0-0-1, 0-0-2, and then so on and so forth till people start scoring points and everything starts to rotate and all that.
Okay. Well, this is all good tips. Is there any other sort of tips? People always want to go out and buy the best of the best rackets or
Yep.
let's talk a little bit about that. Like, do you need the best of the best? Can you go to Walmart and buy a racket or Target or what?
So what I always tell people, it kind of depends on how much pickleball, like how much you want to get into it. So let's say you're just trying pickleball out for the first time. You don't know anything about it. You're just trying to see if you even like the sport. Buy the $15 racket from, Walmart, or use your friend's racket or paddle, excuse me. I personally usually go around everywhere with like 4 paddles because I'll play with some friends that are brand new and say, "All right, you just use mine." And so I have too many anyways. And so, but if you're looking to get one, you're looking to try first time, get the $15 paddle. If you're thinking, okay, well, maybe I want to play once a month or twice a month for fun, but I want to do that kind of regularly, spend maybe 50, $60 on a paddle, right? That will give you a decent enough paddle where it's comfortable to use. You're not really going to get to any high level play playing that much anyways. So you'll have a good time and you're not going to be like, oh, instantly they're brand new. You're not going to get kind of instantly branded as brand new. You have a paddle that many other people are probably using as well. And then let's say maybe
Great cred with your paddle.
it matters, especially some of the players that have been playing a little bit. They can tell when they see a certain paddle or a certain color ball. There's a whole thing behind that. But and then let's say if you're playing maybe once a week or multiple times a week, you think, okay, man, I really want to play very often, or I want to play perhaps competitively at some point, or just play perhaps more at a higher level. Then, you might want to start thinking about maybe $100 paddle. In that ballpark will give you a pretty solid paddle. And then if you want to say, I want to play like really often, or I really want to play some tournaments and that sort of thing, then, pretty much anything over $150. I mean, there's pros that have used them. They're at that over $150, the difference between paddles starts to become very small. Um, Assuming you're staying within certain specifications. Um, so after $150, it's you there. That's going to be like your top paddle. You're not going to really outgrow a paddle after that price point, unless for some reason it breaks or they release a new type of paddle technology that renders that paddle obsolete. But that's not typical. Even though I feel like I have friends of mine that tell me that this paddle was, oh, it changed my life or this or that. But I'm like, did it really? I mean, maybe if you're at a pro level and you have to get just that much to get above someone, but it's not gonna be unbelievable differences at that level. At that point, it's gonna be technique and personal ability.
Exactly. So pickleball and paddleball, they're the same.
So, paddleball, do you mean a padel?
Is that what it's called?
It's a yes. Yes. So you're talking about the one with like the walls and the turf.
I don't know, I just saw the name. I know.
So you'll see that often. A lot of times they'll have them next together, especially at indoor facilities. It's very common. And padel is a sport. I believe it came out of like Central and South America. So it's very popular down there. It's part of the reason why I think it blew up in Miami. So there's a lot of places in Miami for padel. I believe it's called padel. That might be just maybe some Navi person told me, oh, it's padel, but that's what I've heard. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But I would say padel, if you were to compare the two, pickleball is like ping pong and tennis mixed together. Padel is more like, I would say, racquetball and tennis mixed together.
Okay.
Because the ball is, it's a tennis ball pretty much. You're on grass, turf, and racquetball, you have all the walls, sometimes even a ceiling in racquetball, and the back wall, all of that pretty similar to padel. You have the walls, you have the ricochet effect, and also the swing is a lot of backspin. You don't see as much topspin in padel. Padel is more backspin, which is very similar to racquetball again.
See, I used to play racquetball when I was younger. Not that and tennis also, but I was not, I was not great at tennis or racquetball for that matter. But I actually loved racquetball. I don't know why, if it's because you can hit it really hard and like, you know, but yeah. So padel might be an option for me. That could be a good option. I was
It's a good time.
there.
I'm sorry?
I said I was thinking they were the same thing.
No, no, they are pretty different. They are pretty different. Now, personally, of course, I'm an advocate for pickleball, so nothing against padel, but they got a long way to catch up to pickleball. But
I didn't even know the name. I had them.
before. I'm sorry.
I said I didn't even know the name correctly. I thought it was paddleball and pickleball, and they were the same.
It's not that
Yeah.
important anyways. We can just forget about them.
Okay, well, all of this is good to know. Quick question though, since we were talking about the differences, is it the same racket or the same paddle?
Completely different racket.
Oh, okay.
It's totally different shape, thickness. I don't know how the different specs differentiate like a good padel racket versus a bad one. But they are definitely very different for sure.
Okay. So one of the things that we talked about in the beginning before we even got on this, podcast was how this actually ties into lead generation also. Because a lot of the times, when I teach people about lead generation and social like marketing and branding, people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And so if you're looking to get out there, right, and establish a presence in the community and you're looking to get more business, this is a great way to generate more leads is to have these, types of events, for example, or just get into leagues and kind of get out there and start networking and, mingling with other like-minded people.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I've found over the years, from background being in financial planning, some of my best clients came from just meeting people playing pickleball. Because again, like I mentioned to you earlier, it's about the relationship, right? When you're doing a sport or you're doing a physical activity in particular, literally feel good hormones are being released into your brain, so you're feeling good. The people around you are also feeling good, and so you're getting exercise and you're doing something that's separate from whatever your business is, and so you're able to build that relationship in an area that's separate from business where okay, now this person knows that I'm actually a half decent person to be around, and so then you can say, oh, by the way, I also help people out, so it's not you go into a networking event where they know, oh, you're selling something to them. It's a friend now that happens to do XYZ that can help you out.
Right.
Right. And when you think about, okay, well, I need to get some help for a certain service that I need, who's the first person that we reach out to? It's not going to be the person that calls us to sell us something. It's going to be, oh, well, I met my friend at the park or at the gym or at whatever social activity I'm into, and they do this. So I'm just going to give them a call.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
that's essentially how it happens.
And I teach a lot. I coach and teach classes to a lot of real estate agents and loan officers. And one of the things that I do want to mention, because I bring this up in my class, is that you also have to let people know what you did, right? So, like, people, if they don't know what you do when you're out there playing, they might just know you as Daniel, the pickleball player. They might not know that you do financial advising or anything else like that, right? So you want to make sure that you're still having those conversations. You're not like having this commission breath, like, oh, work with me, give me your deals. But you're having, conversations and educated conversations about whatever it is that you do in your field too, so that they know that you are not just Daniel the pickleball player. You're Daniel the financial advisor who enjoys playing pickleball.
And that's where the setup of the events is important, right? So you have to curate the event in a way where you're adding that pickleball aspect for the relationship building, but you're not forgetting that yes, we want to build great relationships, but we do need to also present what we do and how we help people. And so that's where that aspect of okay, we need to make sure we balance the relationship building and cleverly or seamlessly integrate our business and how we are able to help people into that. And that is what Meet Me at the Net is all about.
So why don't you tell everybody where your locations are so that way and when we first started this, by the way, I just have to tell you, I'm like this idea person. I come up with ideas all the time. And I just thought to myself, this could be a franchise, by the way. I love the name of it, Meet Me at the Net. Like, that is a really cool name and a really cool concept, and either I'm not very involved in the pickleball world and there's others like you, or there's not really much out there. I don't know, but I do know that I think it's a really awesome concept, and I think this could be a franchise. So just wanna put that out there for you, a little seed in
Thank you.
but, um but yeah, tell everybody where you're located so they're not calling you from Texas to come
Yeah,
do it.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, if you are calling in from Texas, we can make it happen. There are some additional fees, of course, for me flying out there, but that's not as
First class
popular.
only.
Is it first class? But right now I'm based out of Coral Springs myself. We do events between West Palm and Miami, primarily. So Palm Beach, Broward, Miami-Dade. There will be some plans to expand in the not too distant future, but those three different areas are where we're able to serve our clients and put together the best possible events. Now, it depends on the style of the event that we're able to do elsewhere. And so, what I would tell you, if you're somewhere else, let me know what type of style of event that you want to do. Might be ways we could put it together. But if you're over here between West Palm and Miami, just let me know what you want to get out of it. Right. And we can definitely put it together. So, West Palm to Miami is where we're focused on right now. But hopefully, in the next 6 months, we'll be doing a lot more all over the place.
That would be awesome. Yeah, and I just wanna let everybody know how important it is to attend events because we just met 2 days ago. We were at a fire event in Fort Lauderdale and met in the hallway, actually, and just struck up a conversation, about what time lunch was.
Yeah. Yep, trying to figure out where the itinerary was at that crazy event, goodness.
But anyway, so here we are. So go out, people, meet people, network, mingle. If you want to have an event in the Miami Broward area, um, I think Meet Me at the Net would be an amazing event to have, and I just might have one over there myself. So, you might be hearing from me. But anyways, Daniel, thank you so much for being here. All of his information is going to be in the podcast. And this is an awesome idea. And I think a lot of people hopefully um learned a little bit, one or two things about the game of pickleball. So I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, thanks for having me on, and, to answer what you were mentioning before, we are the only one that does what we do, and so, if you guys need any help, let me know, but, thanks for having me on, it's always a pleasure to, share and excited to see the podcast when it comes out.
Yes. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye. If today's episode opened your eyes to what's possible with AI and automation, here's the next step. At Done by One, we help entrepreneurs and sales professionals audit, automate, and implement AI into their business without the overwhelm. You can book a business audit to see where you need to implement AI and automation. Get set up with the Done by One CRM to run your business on autopilot, or take our AI courses to build your own AI tools and assistants. Do not wait until you're playing catch up. Head on over to Done by One at donebyone.ai and take action today, because the businesses that implement AI now are the ones that will win tomorrow. And remember, let's be done and be done by one.